I don't think my parents ever truly wanted me. Growing up, I always felt like a background character in someone else's story, specifically my older brother's. He was the golden child, the pride of the family. I was just there. The differences became more obvious with time, but they were especially painful when we both turned 18. When my brother hit that milestone, our parents threw him a huge celebration. My mom baked a homemade chocolate pudding cake he loved. They hired a DJ, invited half the neighborhood, and the highlight of the night. A well-maintained old Lexus with a ribbon tied around it. Not new, but stylish and reliable. He flaunted it for months, always reminding me how our parents knew how to reward hard work. I watched all of it, quietly telling myself, if I keep my grades up and do everything right, maybe I'll get the same. And I did. I kept up with him academically, sometimes even doing better. I volunteered in my free time, cleaned up parks, helped tutor younger kids, and stayed out of trouble. I was holding out hope. Then my 18th birthday came. The celebration was a pale comparison. No homemade cake, just a supermarket sheet cake. No DJ, just an old boombox playing scratched CDs. No surprise gift, no moment of pride, just awkward silence and empty smiles. I waited until the end to ask why there was no car. They told me, bluntly, that my brother had earned his gift by working harder. I was stunned. My grandmother was there when I asked. She didn't stay quiet. She stood up, furious, and asked them point-blank how they could justify treating their two children so differently. One by one, other family members joined in. I didn't even know most of them felt the same way. That night ended in quiet embarrassment for my parents and quiet heartbreak for me. Weeks passed with cold silence between us. Then, without much ceremony, they handed me the keys to a car, an old '98 white sedan. No smile, no celebration, no explanation, just a set of keys and a 6-month insurance policy like they gave my brother. I was grateful in theory, but something felt off. The car seemed too good to be true for how little they cared. And it was. Just a few weeks later, while I was driving on the highway to my part-time job, the temperature gauge spiked. The engine overheated, and I had to pull over. A blown head gasket. When my grandparents checked it, they found the engine had been patched up with gasket sealer. A temporary fix someone had clearly done just to sell the car. My parents hadn't even bothered to check. When they were confronted, their response was a shrug. My dad said it was karma for making them buy me a car. That broke something in me, and it broke something in my grandparents, too. They didn't say much then, but a few days later they showed up with a different car. A white '99 Civic, clean, checked over by my uncle, and full of recent repairs. It drove like a dream. I nearly cried. My parents were like ghosts after that. No congratulations, no acknowledgement, just defeated silence. Something in them had changed, but not in a good way. Later, I found out why. My grandparents sat me down and explained the truth they'd been keeping for years. My parents had wanted a girl. After having my brother, they were certain their second child would be a daughter. They refused to know the gender before birth and had already prepared everything, clothes, names, toys, for a baby girl. But I was born a boy. And instead of adjusting, they tried to force their fantasy for the first few months. My mom dressed me in girls' clothes, called me a different name, and acted as if I was someone else. There are even pictures. It was only when the rest of the family stepped in that they stopped. Instead of getting new clothes or toys, they gave me my brother's leftovers. Instead of celebrating me, they tolerated me. Instead of bonding, they distanced. And the guilt, the resentment, and their disappointment festered. I became a daily reminder of the daughter they never got. Despite that, I pushed through. I earned a 50% college scholarship, higher than the 30% my brother got. It was to a school just as good, and much closer to home. When my parents found out, their reaction wasn't pride, it was irritation. My grandmother asked them, "Why aren't you proud of him?" They gave hollow answers. The truth was obvious. They hadn't planned for me to succeed. They did agree to help pay some of my college costs, but only after my grandparents pressured them. I made sure to protect my college identity, called the school and put blocks on my records. I didn't trust my parents not to interfere, especially after all I'd learned. Then something unexpected happened. My brother called me. He told me our grandparents had told him everything. He apologized in his own awkward way, said he'd gone through his own hell with our parents. He admitted to bullying me out of jealousy, out of pressure, out of confusion. But he'd gotten therapy, worked on himself, and even told me he wasn't coming back home after graduation. He'd started a new life in another state, with a girlfriend our parents hated, of course. When they found out, our mom went as far as hiring a private investigator. She was furious when the girl turned out to be perfect on paper. Clean background, strong family, good education. But my brother had had enough. He confronted them, and the truth spilled out. That led to another intervention. This time, even I was included via video call. Our dad broke down and screamed, asking what else we wanted. An apology, time travel, what? My mom gave me a half-hearted apology before sobbing to my brother again. My dad hung up the call, and the intervention ended in silence and disappointment. Now, my parents barely talk to anyone in the family. They've buried themselves in work, supposedly ashamed, but more likely just avoiding the truth. I hear they may even move to escape the lingering tension. My childhood bedroom is frozen in time. My brother's is still spotless, just in case he changes his mind and returns. He won't. I probably won't either. I'm thankful they helped reduce my student loans. That much I'll give them. But as parents, they failed. Spectacularly. I don't hate them. Hate takes energy. I just feel nothing. And maybe after everything, that's the real tragedy.